What's up guys, we're back again today with another great video, and in today's video we're actually going to be working on the Highlander again. And in today's video we're actually going to be installing a heads-up display from CartrimHome. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into it. Alright, so I'm sitting here on my workout bench and I'm going to show you guys everything that it comes with. So as you guys can see, great packaging just like normal. You can see the heads-up display right here. And if you open it up, inside of this box, I believe is the heads-up display itself. So as you guys can see, here's what it looks like. And what's cool about this is it's actually going to use the spot where our OEM tweeter is up top. But as you can see, there's still holes around it, so the tweeter will still play just like normal, but it's just going to take that vent and replace it with this heads-up display screen. So this is really nice for anybody that has, you know, an XLE or I believe lower. I'm not sure if the Limiteds have them, but I know that the Platinums have a factory heads-up display. We have an XLE, so we do not have a heads-up display at all. So here's what it looks like. And then underneath this piece right here is actually the instructions. And it also goes over all the different functions of the heads-up display right here. And as you guys can see, we got our wiring harness right here. And then we've got the tools needed to do it. It comes with a screwdriver. You could also use your own Phillips head screwdriver. And then it comes with pry tools here. And then some zip ties to kind of zip tie up the harness to keep it nice and tight. And then also it comes with this piece of tint film, and it's actually supposed to make the heads-up display visually able to be seen a little bit better from inside the car. Our Highlander actually has tint on the front windshield, so we'll see how it looks like that, and then we'll see if I want to add this to there or not. It might look good with the tint that's already on there. So anyway, again, one great thing about CartrimHome is their packaging obviously is very nice. They always give you all the supplies you need. And then also everything is plug and play. So these are actually factory Toyota harnesses. So what's nice is we'll actually unplug our factory Toyota harnesses, plug this in, plug the factory harness back in right here, and everything is back to factory basically. It's pretty much just a pigtail that they've ran off of it to be able to give power to the heads-up display and, you know, your miles per hour, different things like that. And you don't have to go splicing in wires or anything. So that's what's really great about this kit from CartrimHome. It's all plug and play and super easy. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into the car and start installing it. Also, two other tools you might need just to make the project a little bit easier if you have it. Obviously they give you the flathead. You can use a Phillips head as well. That's what I have in the car that I'm getting ready to show you guys. Also, you'll need a wire snake to kind of feed that wiring harness down through, and then also a 10mm to kind of pop the tweeter speaker inside the car up, and it makes it a little easier to run that wire. If you don't have you know, a wire snake like this, if you have a wire hanger in your closet, you can actually just take that apart and use it as a wire snake for this project. So that's kind of a little tip. If you don't have one of these, that you can use that as well. All right, so as you guys can see, we're sitting inside the car now, and right up here, this is what I'm talking about. So we're actually going to pop that out, and that's where this heads-up display will be. So what we need to go ahead and do is we actually need to take off this top column piece right here, as you guys can see. So we're actually going to have to turn the car on. We'll turn the steering wheel this way. It'll give us access to a screw that's right in here. Then we'll turn the steering wheel this way, get access to the screw that's over here. And then there's actually one screw underneath right here. And once we get all that, we'll actually pop this out, and that's where the harness to the heads-up display actually plugs in at. Will be right here. So let's go ahead and we'll start taking off this console first, and then I'll pop this out up here. All right, so like I said, we'll go ahead and we'll start the car up, and that'll allow the steering wheel to turn. So we'll turn it this way first, and as you guys can see, right here is our first screw. So I'll go ahead and take that off now. Just like that. And then we'll turn the steering wheel this way. And same thing on this side. You can see the screw right there. We'll take it out. Hopefully my wife's music don't start playing on us here. Alright, so we've got that screw out. So now let's go underneath. I'll step outside the car. And as you guys can see right here is the screw that's underneath the car. So let me set you back up right here while I take that one off. Alright, so they're all loose. We'll put these in the cup holder right here. And then now we're able to kind of pop this off, as you guys can see. Now there's also plastic clips in this as well. I'm going to grab from underneath back here and kind of pull forward a little bit and kind of get it popped off. Then once you get it popped off, you can kind of work it up on both sides, just like that. And then as you guys can see, the top piece slides off. From what you can kind of see, I'll move the camera closer in a second. And then there's the bottom piece. So our top piece right here, it's actually got this, it's kind of like a shift boot like this, but it's a boot right here that kind of keeps everything hidden. So I just kind of pulled it straight up, and then I'm going to sit it right here for now. And then here's the bottom piece. So like I said, what I did was, as you guys can see right here in the back, I actually just reached my hand right back here and kind of pulled down, and when I did, it popped these clips on the side right here and right here. Then you can kind of just spread those out a little bit farther, and then that's when I was able to lift this up top, and then this bottom piece just kind of falls out on itself. This piece right here, this is what you adjust your steering wheel with. Just pop it down and it'll get it out of the way, so you can pull this plastic trim all the way off. So now we have all the access we need, because right in here is the harnesses that we're going to be messing with. And so now what I'll do is turn the car off. We'll go ahead and install this up here and start feeding our wire down. All right, so now we are ready to pop this speaker cover out right here. So I'm actually going to use this tool that they gave us, and you can just go down just like this at a sharp angle, and then literally just pop it up just like that. Super easy to take it out, and then you'll just pull back. So here's our factory tweeter speaker cover. We'll move it out of the way, and then as you guys can see right here is your tweeter speaker. And this is where we're going to use our 10mm socket right here. So we'll actually loosen both of these screws and just pick this speaker up and sit it right here for now. Just going to give us more room to be able to feed this wiring harness down through. You could do it without taking the speaker out, but I don't want to be trying to push the wire down in between here and end up, you could end up messing your speaker up or something like that. So it's easier just to get it out of the way. Then we'll reinstall it, only 2 bolts, and then we'll pop the heads-up display down right here. So, all right, so as you guys can see, I just picked up the speaker and rotated it right here. That way we have access to run our wire back up in through here. And if you put your hand in there, you can kind of feel where you need to go with it. But basically your ultimate goal is to run it right through here, which obviously you're going to go down behind your cluster, and then it'll run up and you'll see it come out right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start running it through, and then I'll be able to kind of explain it to you guys better once I figure out the route that I've taken. So we've got our wire run exactly where we want it. I'll show you guys what it looks like up here. Like I said, you can use a wire snake, or you can actually use a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger. Just take it apart. So we ran it straight down right here. And then as you guys can see, right here is my wire poking out. It's still taped to the wire snake. But if you look, we came right around the corner right here and then came out. So then that'll allow us to zip tie to this factory harness right here and run it out with everything else. When you're doing this, just make sure, obviously you can unlock your steering wheel right here and you can actually move it up and down. Just make sure that the path that your wire's going, it's not going to get pinched or anything by the steering wheel moving up and down or in and out, obviously, because the steering wheel does go in and out too. Just make sure that it's not going to be in there, get pinched, or it'll cut the wires, obviously, and then it won't work anymore. And then you definitely don't want it wrapped around any of where your pedals move on either side as well. All right, so we've got it untaped from the wire snake, and now we have our pigtail right here that they supply. So first things first, we'll hook up this small harness right here to the harness that we just ran. Let me set the camera down right here really quick so you guys can see. So we're going to hook this in right here. I've not put the tweeter in, and I've not installed the heads-up display yet. We just want to make sure everything's working. So we've got that there, and then as you guys can see, here's the pigtail part, and I'll show you right here. This is the plug that we're going to disconnect. So you just push in right here and it slides right out. Now we'll grab the pigtail from the supplied harness. We'll grab it. So as you guys can see, this will plug in right here just like this. If I can get it in there. Let me see. Just like that. And then you'll plug in this side back up right in here. Just like that. And then now, as you guys can see up here on the dash, it's actually working right now. So obviously I have the door and everything on. The car's turned off, but where the door's on and I just plugged it up, that's why it came on. And as you guys can see, it just went back off. So now let's go ahead and we'll clean up all of our wires and we'll reinstall the tweeter up here. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how I cleaned up my wires. I left all the zip ties long so it was easier to see. So as you can see, I zip tied it here. Then I've got the harness right here zip tied, and then this is the inline fuse that they have on their system right here zip tied as well. Keep everything nice and tight. We've got the wires zip tied again right here. And then as you guys can see, working down the factory harness, zip tied here, zip tied right there, and then zip tied here. And then where that tag is, right here, this white tag, that's actually the pigtail piece. So we've actually looped over the wires, and I don't know, let me see if I can go right here to show you guys. So as you can see right there, trying to get a good view for you guys. Let me see if I can get in there. So right here, this is actually the pigtail harness and the harness that it comes with, and we've got it looped around each other and then zip tied to the factory harness. Leave this harness coming up your steering column, leave it a little bit loose, so that way when you're moving the steering wheel back and forth, up and down, it actually gives it a little bit of play and it's not super tight. So just make sure that you leave that harness slightly loose, just a little bit, but you can tighten everything else down nice and tight. All right, so we've got our 2 screws reinstalled, and now what we're going to do is just rotate this around right here. And in the back, right over here on this side, there's a little square that you're going to put the tab into. And then the other one on this side just slides in, and then you're just going to push down on these 2 pegs just like that, and it's installed. So what's good about this is it actually looks very factory inside the car, so that's super nice. And then also what's really cool is it just takes a place of something else, so you don't have to, you know, like cut into your dash or anything crazy like that to get a heads-up display. So that's super nice and very innovative by CartrimHome on that. So now let's go ahead and we'll jump back down here and we'll go ahead and put our column back together, and I'll show you guys how we're going to do that. All right, so we've got the car running again, and as you guys can see, no codes or anything up top after plugging everything in. Now, as you guys saw before, I just kind of laid this back down and snapped it into place. Now that the car's running, we can freely move the steering wheel back and forth. This is also a good time too, before you put this bottom piece on, to make sure none of the wires are rubbing, you know, your steering wheel while you're turning. You don't want it to interfere in any way. So now let's go ahead and I'll grab the bottom piece. I'll set you guys down right here, and we'll go ahead and slide this in just like this. And you can pop your 2 sides on. Just make sure everything's snapped in nice and tight, and then now we can go in and start putting our screws in. We'll start right here, get it started just like that. And I'm actually going to leave it a little bit loose. I'm going to screw it enough to where the steering wheel can turn, go to this side just so we can make sure everything's lined up. Same thing over here. I'll screw it in just enough to where the steering wheel can turn back and forth. Now we're going to go do the one underneath right here. Make sure everything's good and lined up, and it is. So now I'll go ahead and tighten this bottom screw up all the way. And remember, with plastic stuff like this, tight is tight. You don't have to over tighten it or anything because it's just holding plastic together. So now we'll come back up here, we'll tighten this side. Got it good and tight. Go to this side, tighten it up. Good and tight. Just like that. Now again, what we'll do is we'll check our steering wheel. I don't feel any interference at all with the wire. The steering wheel's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And then also we can pull it in and out and nothing's kind of pulling against it. You know, if you tighten the wires too much, it might feel like it's like when you're pulling it back, it's almost like you're fighting it. But everything's doing like it's supposed to. Make sure the steering wheel's locking. So we're all good here. And as you guys can see up top, you guys can see it right there. Visually, you can kind of see it in the camera right here a little bit. In person, I can see it actually really good. It's just the camera, the GoPro itself is not picking it up great. But also, like I told you guys, we actually do have our windshield is actually tinted a little bit in this Highlander. And also too, you guys can put this piece of film right here on your windshield to make it show up a little bit better. But like I'm saying, I'm sitting all the way back right now and I can see it perfectly fine. It's just the camera itself is just not picking up the LED screen good. But as you guys can see, it's right there, and it's cool because it's letting us know that obviously our driver's door is open, and then it's showing us our RPMs down here and then our miles per hour there. And then obviously it has the caution icon up right here because the door is open. So really nice, really cool install, super easy to install. And actually I'll get some night clips tonight of what it looks like in the dark and everything, and I'll actually clean our windshield off a little bit. All this dirt and stuff is probably making it a little bit harder for you guys to see as well. And then that way you guys can kind of see what it looks like at nighttime too. But daytime I can see it really, really good. It's just the camera is not picking it up well. So let's do another test right here. And as you guys can see, we've got 19 miles per hour, 20 miles an hour at the bottom. And you can see it's staying pretty consistent right with it. So 21 at the bottom, 21 up top. So as you can see, it's keeping up with the speed pretty good. And then if I get on it, you can see the RPMs go up and then go back down. So it actually seems to be pretty responsive. It might have like a 1 second delay or a half second delay, but it's actually pretty close with the reading down below. So we have the XLE, so we don't have the heads-up display. I believe the Platinums do, and maybe the Limiteds have the factory heads-up display on them as well. But this is a really nice option for the lower trim models of the Highlander, so that way you can have a heads-up display too. So as you guys can see, it's really easy to see at nighttime, and it's actually super easy to see during the day too. So it does a great job reflecting off the glass. All right guys, so that's pretty much it for today's install. The hardest thing about the whole install will be fishing the wire down, but it's actually super easy. There was a lot of room to be able to fish it down. It wasn't like a super tight space or anything. So that'll be the only thing that will really take a little bit of time, and then cleaning up your wires and making it look professional. That's where I kind of spent most of my time at. Everything else, popping in the heads-up display, taking out the tweeter, all that stuff was really quick and easy. Plugging it all in was super easy. Just cleaning your wires up and running the wire, I will say, will be the hardest part. Anybody can do this. I promise you right now, that was a very easy install. And if you watch this video, I promise anybody can do it. All the stuff from CartrimHome, they've actually made it very easy for anybody to do, which is super nice. As you guys can see, I'll show you some of the other things we've done. These bezels right here that light up and they do sequential turns and stuff like that, that's from CartrimHome. Also, we've got the inside all of our door handles, which right now they're off, but as you guys can see right here, it's kind of these cool little lights that light up inside each of the door handles. You can kind of see them right here, but all this stuff was plug and play as well, all the way to obviously the heads-up display now, which was plug and play. And then in the back here, some of the other cool CartrimHome stuff we have is, we'll let it open up right here, and I'm not sure if my wife has them turned on or off right now. She's got one on and one off. So you can see the lights right here, which are really nice. Back here at nighttime, you can see really good, or if you're unloading groceries. And then also in the back of the car right here, another thing by CartrimHome is their storage bin, which goes right underneath here in your factory spot. Super easy, and then you can pick it up and pull it out. If there's some, you know, you have a flat tire or something like that, all your stuff stays underneath it, and you don't even know all this stuff is here, which is super nice. It allows us to keep our trunk nice and clean, and when we're traveling with the dogs and stuff like that, we don't have to have our, you know, like our safety bin or our stuff in case of an emergency up here with the dogs, which is super nice. So with that all being said, I will actually leave a playlist of all the Highlander stuff at the end of this video, so check out some of the other stuff by CartrimHome. Maybe the heads-up display isn't for you, but I know some of this other stuff. Here's again what the heads-up display kind of looks like on the outside. I don't even know if you guys can see it because of the glare, but if the heads-up display isn't for you guys, CartrimHome makes a lot of cool stuff for the Highlander. And I will have to say, you guys know I give true reviews, and if stuff is crap, I'm gonna let you know it's crap. But CartrimHome, they've done a great job in innovating all this stuff and using the factory harnesses and making it super easy for everybody to use. And all the stuff that I've had on the car, I've had it, some stuff almost probably half a year now. All the stuff is still working in great condition, and I haven't had any problems with anything. So anyway, go check out their website. I'll leave a link down below straight to the heads-up display, and then there's also a discount code for you guys as well. So you can go on there, buy the heads-up display, and then if you don't want that, it'll take you to their website, and you can search up top and look at all the other Highlander stuff they have on there. So a great company. If you're wanting to do some cool things to your Highlander, they have a lot of different options for you guys. But anyway, guys, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, and remember, build your masterpiece.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain.